After joining a game jam and making a game in a week, I wanted to see whether I could actually make a horror game in a month or not. And yeah, that didn't really go how I thought it would. Alright, you know what, let's just get right into the video. So the idea for this game was kinda like the last one as well. You collect a bunch of papers, and once you've collected all of them, you can escape. Except this time, you're in a maze, it's dark, you have a flashlight, and your buddy with you. Yeah, it's kinda like Slenderman, but with multiplayer basically. Man, I'm such a genius.
Stop the cap.
Okay, so with the idea settled, I went ahead and learned how to make a multiplayer game. And it was like way different than a single player game, I'm telling you.
When I want to explain it, my head will be headache me. Yeah.
So in a single player game, you only have to worry about one player doing stuff. But in a multiplayer game, you have to worry about multiple people doing stuff and making sure that when a person does something, that something gets transferred into other players' screen. And that's what's called replication. Each player has their own instance of the game running on their computer, so there must be a server and a client. And they have to communicate with each other so that the game works. I learned that and a few other confusing shit that I'm not gonna bother explaining, cause yeah, it's boring. Boring! So with that knowledge in mind, I started by creating a project from the third-person template. I know that I can do most of the mechanics of the game because it's like similar to my first game, so I wanted to work on the multiplayer aspect of the game first, which was server hosting, joining, and leaving. Now there are several different types of multiplayer server models, but the one I'm using is called the listen server model. Here, one player can host the game and becomes the server. Then other players can connect to that game as clients. The server model that Mr. Duck was talking about here is called the dedicated server model, which requires you to host a server from either another computer that you need to turn on 24/7 or pay a server hosting provider, which is only for big games or, you know, those with money to spend because your boy don't have no money. Okay? So that's why you gotta subscribe. Please. Just do it. I followed a tutorial series by this creator, and of course, I was already encountering problems. But I managed to fix it later. This, join, and it should work. Yes sir, see, I knew it was something about join sessions. After that, I need to add this other thing called the Epic Games Online subsystem. Basically, what I have now is just server hosting on my local network. But if I use this online subsystem, players can host servers on the web, which means players all around the world can play with each other. Yay! Wow! What a fucking pain in the ass to add. Yeah. I had to create an organization or something, and then add this Steam Advanced session so that players could just use their Steam account for login, which doesn't have this pop-up screen like the one for Epic Games. And yes, I somehow got it working.
Oh, ain't no way! It actually works! What the? Okay. Yes, sir. Oh my god. My brain, bro. Come on, bro. Huh? What? Please, I'm begging you. Please don't crash. Please, if you crash. Yes! It didn't crash! Oh my god.
Then I wanted to learn procedural map generation, but after watching this...
Huh?
Yeah, no thanks. I didn't understand. Making the map that way was going to f up my mental health, so I just moved on to working on the character instead. I added the first person perspective, then went to Sketchfab and got this flashlight and put it into the game. But it was see-through for some reason, so I got this longer one instead, which kinda reminds me of something, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, it works pretty good, but not when I'm moving though. That's why I tried to make the arm stay still, but yeah, that doesn't look like it's staying still at all. So I downloaded this animation software to make things easier. It's free, by the way. And while that was downloading, I implemented the battery system, which includes draining the battery when using the flashlight and adding more battery life to your flashlight when you collect batteries. I faced some problems due to replication issues because this is my first time actually dealing with it. Like, the battery UI loads for the server, but then it doesn't load for the client. Or when the client or the server turns off or on the flashlight, it doesn't show on the other person's screen. It was a simple fix, just have to add a couple of RPCs. After that, I opened Cascader and messed around with it a bit.
Help me!
I found a way to import the animation from Mixamo and then just edit it in there. It took a while to finish these animations, but yeah, it turned out great. Not too bad, and yeah, it works. Because the game is multiplayer, I needed to add a few skins for the players.
Hey yo, what the?
There will only be a maximum of 4 players anyways, so I just have to find 4 skins that fit with the animations. Some were fine and some were... yeah, you can see it for yourself.
Damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
I wanted to add a system where it assigns a different skin to each of the players, and man, it was just a pain. Sometimes it would just do this, and then other times it would just work, but then after that, the guy would just be invisible. But after a few more hours of just dying inside, I finally got it working. Probably. Maybe. You'll see. Now, the game doesn't have a winning condition yet. I went ahead and added the paper system into the game.
Oh my god, it finally works. Yes! Yes!
After that, I also wanted the player to have stamina, because you can't just run away from the ghost forever, you know. I then began to work on the ghost. I added some movement, gave it a cute face, and coded its behaviors. I also added the jump scare, which I totally didn't steal from another horror game. I mean, yeah, no, I changed later. Like, trust me. I wanted to also add the ragdoll effect whenever you get caught by the ghost. But it seemed that, it ain't working too well.
He needs some milk!
So I decided to just add animations instead of simulating the ragdoll effect. The player's perspective is looking kinda bland, and I was thinking of making it look like one of those found footage games, and yeah, it looks close enough. And finally, all the coding was done. All I had to do now was import the game meshes and design the UI. I stole this door from Sketchfab and these batteries as well, but I made these papers on my own, which I'm very proud of, I'm not gonna lie. I totally didn't steal that design from some other horror game. There's also lore to this game as well, so if you want to know the story, just look at the papers. Well, good luck on that. And it was time to make the ghost character. I downloaded the trial version of the Character Creator 4 and started messing around just to learn all the controls, and it was pretty fun.
Peter, what he's doing? Why you bully me?
After all that, I got started with the ghost. Had some accidents along the way. Trust me, that was an accident. But I was actually making a ghost. I never thought I could have done it before, because I'm not scared of ghosts. But like, when I see one, I get cautious of my surroundings, and my mind starts bullying me with hallucinations. But while creating her, I wasn't really that scared, I'll be honest with you.
Stop the cap.
It was actually pretty funny.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I also created some animations for her, and that was it for the ghost. Look, the animation might not be the greatest, but it works, okay? After the ghost was done, I started working on the map. For the lobby, at first I wanted it to be like a cozy place where the players are waiting to get into the maze, but then I thought that it didn't make any sense because it doesn't seem scary at all. So I just went with this design instead. And as for the maze, I generated it on a website, then I started building it up and just putting everything together. For the material, I just went with this one concrete material because like ain't no way I'm putting a lot of details in this big ass maze. But I did put in some decals instead. And finally, the game was done. Or so I thought. At this point onwards, I didn't even bother recording what I did just because I had so many problems I had to fix. What I thought was one problem led to another, and that other one led to two others, and it just keeps multiplying. I was going insane at this point. I really wanted to give up. It's been like 4 months up until this point, and I haven't gotten the video done yet. I wasn't really sure if I could actually finish this game or not, or if it's even worth it or not. But there was only one thing that I was sure about. It was that I had to finish what I started. Whether I was at 70% or 60% of completing this game or not, I continued to just do it. And after 2 more months, at the end of April, it was finally done. I'm gonna be honest with you, the game is not that perfect. There might be bugs here and there, and it might not be that scary or interesting. But the reason I decided to make this game and this video was to see how hard it really is to make a multiplayer game and whether I could make one or not. And now, I got my answer to that question. Making a game in general has been one of the things that I really want to try doing, even before I got my PC, because of this guy that inspired me. What I want you to get out of this video is that making a multiplayer game is f***ing hard. But I also want you to try new things. The things that you want to do, but you're afraid to do it just because it seems impossible. And also, don't be an idiot like me and make a multiplayer game as a second game. But if you do, remember to always finish what you've started, okay? Man, I sounded like one of those motivational gurus on the internet, but yeah, whatever. You can find the game on itch.io, and yeah, see you on the next one.